I'm Edie Lush, and I'm really pleased to be joined now by Dr. Mandeep Rai. Thanks very much for coming along.
Thank you for having me.
So you've written a book, The Values Compass, which I think is really interesting because at Hub Culture we've done some work on our own values. But tell me what the book is about and what is so interesting about the 101 countries that you analyzed to get this.
So I've traveled over 150 different countries actually to get here,
Right.
and I chose 101. And each country has been distilled into a value. Imagine silence from Finland, solidarity from Madagascar, togetherness from Kenya, Gerong Chai, which is this kind of deep reverence from Thailand, love from Brazil, diversity from Colombia. You get the idea.
Wow. So what is that? What's the reason for doing that?
Well, really because each country, I believe humanity actually wants to evolve into its very best self. But how we do that is often determined by our geography, our history, our cultural context. So we might not have to fight for our dignity, but for someone in Syria, for example, especially in the last 7 years, Damascus is one of the oldest civilizations on the planet. And for them to have lost their dignity, now they're in a revolution for dignity. They're asking for it all the time. So given you don't really know what your values are until they're violated, until they're stripped away. And as soon as that happens, then you're like, oh, wait a minute, that was important to me. And once you're aware of that, if I put you in Finland, you might indeed listen in a different way because that's what's valued in that culture. And if I put you in America, a different trait might come out where you're able to see something you do not as a mistake, but as a learning, and then pivot and move forward, and then pivot
What's
again.
the value in the States?
Pivot stroke
Pivoting.
entrepreneurship, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Can I tell you some of the Hub Culture values that we've
Please.
done some work on? Because I think that just might be interesting. In fact, it's interesting that you have one for each country. We seem to have 8 and we're one company.
But that's totally fine because all these values are within us,
Okay.
and it's just what do we choose to focus on.
Okay.
We're not restricted as individuals.
Right, interesting. Respect,
Yes?
community,
Yeah.
truth, collaboration, positive trace, so leaving a positive impact, responsibility, discipline, and excellence.
So tell me, having those values, do you feel like it's made a difference to how you've grown, what decisions you've made, the resonance within the organization?
I think it makes me think about what I want out of every particular encounter. So when I thought about what this week was going to be, and we did an incredible ceremony, actually all of us here, 33 of us,
Regarding those values?
regarding those values and regarding the week in general, I came away thinking, well, I want this week to be about enjoying it, because sometimes it can be quite a stressful week, Davos, and creating opportunities. And that is really what's happened.
Oh, because you guys set those intentions and had that value right on the outset.
Yeah.
This is the power of it, that once you've decided this is what's important to us or me, that is what you get. Because that's what you've prioritized, that's what you focus on, that's what comes about.
So anything to take away that you could tell the audience that, besides obviously buy the book, that they might get out of it?
Well, really, the book is not read it front to back. It's not that type of a book. It's an exercise. It's a 15-minute exercise, and you dip in, dip out, depending on what's of interest to you. So the takeaway is that once you, in this exercise, once you boil down to your core values and you prioritize them, which it helps you do, because often you lie to yourself and your subconscious is working in weird and wonderful ways, it's a game changer. Because just as you see it, as you saw it in a team or in a company, when you do that, you're able to create and make change and make action. I think something that Davos is often criticized for, or we are criticized for, is talking and not doing. And what this book does is give you the goal and makes you do, so it makes you action.
Thank you very much for stopping by the Hub Culture. In fact, we're in the Tech Lodge this time, and I'm Edie Lush.